Jack, and today we're going to do another Let's Talk Video Games episode. So today we're going to be covering the Borderlands series. As I said in my last video, I tried to pick video games based on like how popular, like if I thought they weren't as popular as like they were, they should have been, or just kind of like what's new, So we're going to be going through all 4 games. It shouldn't take that long. My opinion on the pre-sequel is very blunt, very short. But you got to start off right, so we're going to start off with number 1. So right here with me, I have the Xbox One Borderlands Game of the Year edition. So the difference between this one and the first, like the 360 version of this game, obviously the graphics have been updated, so it's in 4K HDR. And then also they added a new rarity to weapons. So there's like a pink-ish kind of rarity, which is higher than Legendary, which was previously like the highest rarity you could get. So this one is pretty much just the first one with all the DLC, like I said, just upgraded. The fact that they added in another loot level is pretty cool. And personally of this series, the first one was my favorite by far. So drop in another, I think it was like $20 or $30 for this one when it first came out. I was totally cool with it. I played it a lot. I loved it. The main story, I think that's kind of like the beauty of the first one, is there is a story, but there really isn't. Like, you have a goal of opening the vault, and then that's your mission. That's all you got to do. It's not complicated. It's not layered. There's nothing going on. It's just you as a character. They don't do much with the background of the characters, which I think is perfect. They just throw you into a story and say, hey, go open that. And it's a looter game. It's exactly what it was designed to be. You go in, you kill stuff, you grab all you can, and you either make money on it or you upgrade yourself. So I loved it. I thought that's what was great about it. The first DLC is Dr. Ned's Zombie Island. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge fan of zombies. Zombies are like my favorite like horror genre, if you can say that, or just like one of my favorite sub-genres. So I loved the Zombie Island expansion. I thought it was fantastic. Then you go into Mad Moxxi's Underdome Riot. So Mad Moxxi's Underdome was like basically like a survival mode. So you face waves upon waves and waves of enemies, and at the end they just like spray loot everywhere, and you just kind of take your pick. So pretty fun, but kind of like a one and done type of thing. I didn't find myself grinding Mad Moxxi's Underdome that much, but it was pretty fun, a couple times going through it. And then you get the Secret Armory of General Knox. So when that DLC first came out, there was a glitch where you could slip, after you beat the main boss, you could slip between like 2 panels or whatever and get to this underground area that you're not supposed to get to. And you had like 20 chests you could open. And it was like, if you were playing on your, I believe, second playthrough, it was just legendaries for days out of those chests. And it was pretty awesome. And then this is probably the one I played the least, was Claptrap's New Robot Revolution. Claptrap is a character throughout the game. He's kind of like a helper robot, super annoying, super stupid, just says all the dumbest things, but he's really beloved by the fan base, I would say. He's just a really cool character, and that will kind of go into why the third one isn't as good, in my opinion. But yeah, overall Borderlands 1 was very good. Out of my friend group, I was probably one of the ones that played it the most. A lot of my friends didn't play it, which, whatever. But I thought it was a really fun game, really good. It's pretty much all I have to say about the first one. So then we get to the Borderlands Handsome Jack collection. So the next one that came out was Borderlands 2, which I think also released originally on the 360, or it may have been I think it was on the 360 originally. And then when the pre-sequel came out, the pre-sequel I think was 360, PlayStation 3, but then they remastered them for Xbox One as like a bundle. So Borderlands 2, they got a little more sophisticated with the game. They added more of a story into it, where it was the original 4 characters from the first game had kind of like established their own kind of identities as the Vault Hunters, and they inspired other Vault Hunters to go out and look for treasure and all this kind of other stuff. So that's why you play as a different character for the second one. And then the main bad guy is Handsome Jack. Now, a lot of people say that Borderlands peaked with 2 because Handsome Jack was such a good villain, and I would agree. So the second game was actually a lot of fun. The characters you could pick from were pretty cool. The DLC character of the Psycho, and I think there was 1 or 2 other ones they added in as playable characters. they're interesting ideas. They added in a lot of new villains or enemy types, from like four-armed gorillas to, I think, I'm having trouble thinking of it right now, but you know, just different villains, new mechanics and things like that. They added in, or they changed the way that your special abilities worked a little bit. Overall, though, I still thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, the Handsome Jack is probably the takeaway villain from the series. He's right here in the middle. He's probably the best villain in the series by far. And the DLCs for that one, I can't remember them off the top of my head because I didn't play it tons. But I think, yeah, I can't remember them off the top of my head. Borderlands 1 was definitely my favorite. But then you get to the Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Now, I think this one, from what I understand of the fan base, this one wasn't received as well. And that's probably because they just kind of did some weird stuff. So you were on the moon, and it took place between 1 and 2, and the playable characters were just kind of and it was just weird. But it explained a lot of things, like how Jack came into power in the first place, why he's the villain, why he thinks he's doing the right thing, and just like a lot of background information that is like pretty cool for the second game. But I mean, they just released it after the second game, and then I don't know. I didn't play it too much. I don't even know if I beat it, if I'm going to be completely honest. It just wasn't for me. I wasn't a huge fan of it. So then that's wrapped up. So then we're on to Borderlands 3. Now, Borderlands 3 to me, if I'm going to be just completely blunt and honest, it was kind of a big disappointment. The guy that used to voice Claptrap ended up leaving the team or whatever, so they have a new guy doing the voice of Claptrap, which really isn't that big of a deal, but it's just like one of those things. It's kind of like, what did you do to him that, you know, he left or whatever? And then, so the 4 characters you can pick from are actually pretty cool, and the skill trees, like functionally, the game is pretty much just the same. There's not a lot of difference, there's not a lot of improvements, and then the story is what really kills it for me. So the story ends up being about, so the main characters from the first and second games are like, kind of like I said about the last one, they're known vault hunters. So they're like legends, you know, they're still on Pandora, which is the planet that the original vault was on, and they're out there just kicking butt, taking names, and just kind of doing their thing until this pair of twins, right, rallies all the bandits together, and they're just kind of like under like one like bandit army. They're called the Children of the Vault, I think. Now, this would be kind of cool if those characters didn't suck. But as like main antagonists, they're garbage. I don't care about them. I don't care about finishing the story. It took me a few months to finish the story because I just didn't care. Now, if you're not, like, if the story doesn't bother you and you're just there for the gameplay and you're just like, you know, out there to loot and have fun, this game will feel, like, satisfy the need, really. It has tons of different things. Like when you restart the game for your second campaign, it activates True Vault Hunter mode, which pushes the max level to like 50, so you can go through that way. And then if you have the DLCs, you can get up to level 57. And the DLCs, from what I've played, are pretty interesting. There's different ways you can loot and things like that. And there's also a raid boss, so you can go through, kill the boss, get some loot, and just keep upgrading your character. And there's more DLC to come. I think right now it's only 1 or 2 of them are out, but more are supposed to be on the way. But yeah, but the characters, I couldn't get into it. I didn't care about the story. They went out of their way to kill off most of the previous like Vault Hunter characters. Like the ones, I think almost all the ones from the first game are dead. They killed off a couple from the second game. It was just like kind of pointless, and they just threw it in there just because. And then the characters they leave us with for any story going forward are just like trash tier characters. So yeah, just to summarize again, like Borderlands 3 for me was a huge disappointment. I think I was expecting, well, I don't know what I was expecting. Like I said, Borderlands 3 didn't do it for me. Once I beat it, I wasn't really inclined to go back and grind anymore just because I didn't really care. There's a lot of like, dare I say, like SJW kind of jokes, and like there's like Mary Sue's throughout the game and just that kind of thing. Like I'm not there for it. Leave that stuff out of the games. Like just make it what it originally was just a plain shooter to just go in and have fun. I don't need you cramming any ideologies down my throat or anything like that. And I felt like a lot of that was present in this game, and I'm not there for it. So that one and pre-sequel are definitely the weakest in my opinion, and the first one and second one are debatably, like, you could go either way on which one was the better one. But 2 definitely had the best villain in Handsome Jack. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up. That's kind of like my little speech or like a little spiel on the Borderlands trilogy. For the most part, it's pretty enjoyable, especially if you're just there for, you know, the grind and just there for the gameplay, then you'll have a lot of fun with pretty much all of them. But if characters or story or anything like that is a factor, then you're probably not going to enjoy the later ones as much. They definitely peaked with 2. So with all that being said, if you watched the video, thank you so much. And if I influenced your decision to play these games or not play these games, please let me know. And take it easy. See you next time.